Welcome to Fort Zumwalt. I am Laura Wagner. I am the administrative assistant to the superintendent for PR and media in the district. So that's kind of a mouthful, and I appreciate Dr. St. Pierre giving me a few minutes to let all our new teachers know a little bit more about what I do and how they are a part of our PR team. So my responsibilities include everything from the Fortitude podcast to our social media channels, working with our principals on their school communications, our websites, community outreach, legislative outreach, the PR side of the list. My responsibilities also include working with Dr. Dubray and running his office. So there's things like managing the budgets and bills and schedules and things like that. So it's a wide array of activities, and I'm never bored. But I do tend to send a lot of emails. So that is why, one reason, I brought Hedwig along. Get to know Hedwig, because you will see him in your inbox. And I never really thought about it when I chose that as my Google icon, but over the years I've realized it's appropriate because Hedwig is a messenger, and so am I. And Hedwig also helps me out when I'm thirsty. And when you think about information and what people want, it's a matter of being thirsty. My oldest son, all of my kids, have been a part of Fort Zumwalt School District since the year 2000 when we first moved here. And we had parents as teachers come out, and the parent educator worked with my kids until they were off to Fort Zumwalt kindergarten, and now they've crossed the graduation stage. But I remember very specifically one visit from the parent educators where they were working with my oldest son, and they were asking him questions like, what do you do when it's dark? What do you do when you're hungry? What do you do when you're thirsty? And I thought these were kind of strange questions to ask a 2-year-old until I heard his answers, which was turn on the light, ask mom for something to drink, and I talked with the parent educator, and she said that's how he solves problems. When he's thirsty, the problem is solved by asking you to get him something to drink. So even at 2 years old, kids know, we know, how to solve certain problems. And for our parents, information is a thirst. And if we can condition them to know where to go to get good information about your classroom, about our schools, then it helps them quench that thirst. So our responsibility, especially as teachers, is to build those open lines of communication and create some spaces that parents can count on. And as we enter this school year, all of our teachers have a new tool available that I'm super excited about for those communications, and that's the power of the Canvas platform, which I'm not super familiar yet with, but I know that it's going to be a place that parents can count on 24/7 for information. And that's what we're all looking for. We're all thirsty for information we can trust at any time that we need it. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you follow a couple of the cons when it comes to communicating. Be consistent. If you have a consistent presence on your Canvas site or a consistent routine in reaching out to parents, they're going to know that on this day or at this time or in this place, I can get answers to those questions that I have. Be concise, which can sometimes come across as being rude, but remember in your own information habits that you like to get things quickly. So try to be concise in everything that you do. Be congratulatory. You're celebrating kids. You're celebrating their achievements. You're celebrating their new relationships. Be congratulatory. And finally, be conscious. Because in this world right now, we all are always carrying more than you can see. So be conscious of what's going on with our families. Be conscious of the fact that some of them might be going through some true financial hardships. Be conscious of the fact that people suffer losses and people have celebrations and people have responsibilities beyond what's happening right in front of us. So if you follow a few of those cons of communicating, they're going to uplift your families and build strong relationships for you and your students. And lastly, just a few notes on some places where you can get good information about what's going on in our school district. First and foremost, get the app. So the Fort Zumwalt app is free to iPhone or Android. Just search Fort Zumwalt, download it. It subscribes you to the district, and then you can subscribe to your school, or if you're also a parent in our district, to your kids' schools. This will give you notifications when we send out communication. This will give you access to calendars. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. Can't beat that. Second, make sure that if you are not on the app, you are checking your school website and your district website for any information that might be news to you about upcoming events, especially when we get to have so many of them again, and deadlines, other things that are happening around the district. Finally, there's e-news, which comes out once a month after the board meetings and includes important stuff like benefits information or news from the Board of Education regarding curriculum approvals or changes in policy and finance situations. It's a good place to get a monthly update. There's the Fortitude podcast on YouTube, your favorite podcast app, or at fortitudeonair.com. And there is also our social media channels, which we're at FZ Schools on Facebook and on Twitter. One other tool you'll want to check out will be your Google Calendar, because under the resources of your Google Calendar, you can find things like the A/B letter calendars for elementary and middle school teachers. You can subscribe to that and have it preloaded into your personal day. You can also find the district master calendar, which will give you a peek into, when we get there again, the amazing concerts, performances, parent educational meetings, community events, all of that will be housed there. So I'm excited. I wish we were welcoming you in person, but I'm going to deliver you this message. Welcome to the fort. Thanks, guys.